Hi, very good evening. This is Sangeeta from my home office at Delhi right now. And I'm very thankful that you are here with me rather than spending your time somewhere else, spending your time with family and other places as well. But I must say, this is a wise decision on your part because you will be going wiser from this webinar and you will start learning from this webinar itself. And I'll set some few ground rules for this and ask the questions at the end. Have a notepad and pen so that you can take some notes. I must say that any one of these ideas, there are a lot of ideas, right? And any idea may influence you to take a life-changing decision. That is what has happened to many others, including me. And so and it will take 90 minutes. So if you have some pre-engagements that you have set for yourself, then you can leave right now. But if you are deciding to stay here, then please stay for the entire span of this webinar. It will take 90 minutes for me. And again, I thank you for this of your presence here. And so if you are excited about this, then please write excited in the chat box. And yes, thank you for that. And let us start with this presentation of mine so that we can start learning about this. If you can see the presentation, then please write that you are able to see the presentation. If not, that also you can tell me so that I know that you are not able to see something. And yes, let me again close few windows. Hope you are prepared with the box, notepad and pen in the meantime. So here it is. Let me go full screen and yeah. So 3-step blueprint of leadership growth using resourceful influencing. And who this is for? This is for mid-career professionals with 5 to 12 years of experience feeling stuck and unfulfilled. Why 5 to 12 years? Because this is the time when I see mid-career professionals who are with this kind of experience, they find lot of issues at workplace and otherwise. They start feeling unfulfilled. They start feeling stuck because their growth is stuck somehow. So here is what you will take away from this webinar, which is designing your roadmap. You will find some clue to it. Be sought after, create victories, ready for 3x growth. All these will be growth afterwards, which will be obvious. Now you will be not seeking the growth. Growth will be after you, after your preparatory work. So this is what will be happening as a result of this course. So please stay for 90 minutes. Who I am. So far I'm Sangeeta, of course, and I have so far trained 18,000 professionals to impact about 1 crore lives since 2008 in 16 states. And right now I am working all over India, across India, all the states. And the people, 18,000 people that I have trained at various ranks, they are doing great for themselves and managing the projects, whatever they are doing, they are managing all by themselves. They don't require any help. Of course, coaching and mentoring is an ongoing process which everybody requires help, but not in day-to-day life. On deciding for themselves, they are doing that. And how I trained these many people is I found at least 2 skills that they hadn't found themselves beforehand. and I made use of them for themselves and for myself also. So why I am doing this? Why I'm doing this is I have seen many people cribbing whenever I travel in bus, train, or even in flights. They are cribbing about their workplaces and about various aspects of workplaces. And I saw them wasting their energy. If they waste their energy in these kind of cribbing, then they will not focus on otherwise on their growth side. Maybe that is one of the reasons why they are stuck. And handle negativity and distraction, like say cribbing and gossiping about other things, why the world is not good according to their expectation. It distracts. It takes one to negativity, and the circle is, it is a vicious circle. You will go on and on without finding any solution, right? And the third one is give yourself time to find your own potential. The other day, one of my online coaches now, because offline, whenever I train, I see that is the first thing where their time goes. That is the first thing I tend to see in a person. So give yourself time to find your potential. So this lady of one of the ladies, those are my clients. She was not able. She was always screaming about workplace issues. That is why she is my client. But she also was not able to find time for this growth. Whatever she liked, she was not finding time. So I told her all the time, because you are wasting in all these things. If you take time out from that, it is obvious that she was not able to take her mind of the issues. That is why she was not able to find time. So that is also why, that is a clue that everybody should get. So many people, they are procrastinating, they are not able to manage time. This is because of their mind. So this is one clue I wanted to give. That is why, and this is a very simple clue. And people don't know that they are wasting their own time. That is why I want to do this. If not anything else, at least people will know that this is the mistake they are committing, not anybody else. So defining moments in my life, let me see few things which you may not immediately connect to your workplace, but connecting, these are the defining moments in my life. The first thing my father taught me was be a kingmaker. That means playing second fiddle to somebody who appears to be very powerful. So if a person is powerful and is in the prominent position, then that person requires some kind of support to be effective. And that if that is lacking, then he will lose chance, but also the other people also lose chance. If that person wins, then the opportunities get created. So this is the first thing that my father taught, that because people don't want to give others credit, that is why they don't want to support, and that is why they lose chance for themselves as well. So this is the first lesson that I learned from my father. The second thing was start small and build upon that compound effect. This was the first time when I was a small kid, I was writing down something on my slate or copy, wherever I don't remember where I was writing, but actually I started writing. I knew it was not perfect, but I didn't uh, like say, I didn't stop there. I continued writing, and after say half an hour or so, I wrote one page, almost one page, and as going on, it was not perfect, but it started looking good, because when you do a sizable work, it starts looking good. If you start writing a page, even if your handwriting is not good, if you are following a certain kind of sequence, then it starts looking good. And that is what I might have noticed at that age as a kid just then. And that is when my class teacher appreciated me, my work, you know. So like say my handwriting was not the best one, of course, but whatever I wrote down, and because the proof of my level was in front of me, so it actually gives a compounding uh, effect to your work. So that is how your work gets built up. That is why you will see your credibility is going up, right? And most of my work that I'll be showing a little later on, you will see that my work mostly starts small, and I start building upon that. Whatever small is there, I the the ultimate goal and the ultimate achievement that I achieve and I reach, that is not what in the beginning of my effort. I start expecting to reach there, but it is not so easy. But I start building on that, and till now I am doing that. So if I can do, anybody can do, right? And it is doable. It is very much doable unless you erase, start deleting, you delete, you erase, you just give up and then start anew. All that is because of indecisiveness on your part. And if you just give yourself a chance, then actually it gives you a lot of credibility. That is what I have done. So this is what the story started from there when I was a kid. Then the third thing is, if you allow, it is an extension of the point number one. If you allow the credit to go to somebody else, then your portfolio actually becomes versatile and profuse. You are not stuck with just one thing, right? If the credit has gone for something that you have done, then there are multifold of things around it, right? Like say enhancing the income level of people. So maybe you are doing something in, say, in skill, in building their skill. So you allow that credit to go to somebody. So skill is not one thing, right? So skill is multiple. So if you make arrangement to enhance the skill of some people, a group of people, then you are enhancing another skill in another set of people. And how do you manage? Because you are growing also along with them. You are not building their skill, but you are developing an understanding about their skills. And the problems around that is multifold. So your knowledge becomes multifold. So even if you are right now not getting any credit for anything, still your growth is happening, right? And that is what resourcefulness is. Be a decision maker, become a quick action taker. You will get done a lot. So if you are a decision maker, if you are able to decide quickly to do anything that comes, like say it has to be very fast. Suppose somebody is asking a question. Some people take some time to answer. You give quick answer. So you may be wrong, you may be right. So if you are wrong, then you will get a chance to correct yourself, right? So nothing. Many people think that this is something of an insult if they go wrong, and then if they don't initiate, nobody else initiates, and then it takes time. Then you lose a chance to get corrected quickly if you are wrong. And if you are right, then also you lead the pack because other people will get a chance. Some group, I have been part of many groups where people don't talk, so I talk. So when I talk, many people say this is wrong, this is right. So I get to know both part of the aspects. Some say it is right. So I get to know what people think about what I have in mind. So that is how my mindset and my insight gets increased, right? So then the fifth thing that my father taught me is put 5% more effort in finding facts or knowing the story. just put 5% more effort. If you have come to a stage where you think, if you are thinking and if you are seeing that something is amiss out here, then put 5% more effort that time, so that you can save 90% of your time in starting that investigation again. If you have done something which requires just 5% more, and if you stop at there, then the story will not end, right? The problem will not end. You will not know. Then if you start again after some time, it will again require all that kind of preparation, and you again waste 95% of your time at least. So that rework, save yourself that rework, right? Save yourself from all kinds of duplication. That is what he told me. So first experience of resourcefulness was when I attended a HR policy workshop, wherein I was not, I was a participant from the smallest institution, and there were participants from the biggest institution as well at that time in 2006. So the HR workshop required all the participants to present their HR policies at that level, their respective HR policies of the organization. Me, from the smallest organization, it didn't have HR policy at all, right? And the biggest organization they have, and then they presented it. So I took a day off and designed my HR policy and presented it. So this, I am not from HR background, but that is the defining moment, right? So many people appreciated. People from the biggest institution also appreciated. Like say, designing an HR policy is not a joke, but it came automatically out of me, because maybe that was my aptitude, which I didn't know. But whenever there was, and the second thing is, whenever I am presented with a problem, I try to solve it. So that is my second aptitude. Maybe any of you might have that. Do you find that you have such kind of aptitude for something else, HR, technology, or for numbers, or for finance, anything which is not your mainstream background, right? Might have it. So that was my first experience. And why I remember that is because after 2 years later, I applied in that biggest company and I got selected. I wouldn't have been selected if I would have, say, applied there all by myself, because I didn't have the required qualification and experience at that time. So this was my first victory. Let us see why people are dissatisfied and face stagnancy. If they are resourceful, then why this is happening, and whether resourcefulness would help them. Let us see. So the workplace problems are obvious. Salary 72%, relationship with boss 62% say they are not happy with their boss, work condition, toxic work environment 40% of them say, micromanagement in supervision 30% of them say, relationship with peers, colleagues 24% of them say. And these same factors, salary, relationship with peers, boss, supervision, everything, that is, while it is not favorable to one set of people, it is favorable to some other set of people. So these are not the factors, which actually are responsible, but the way these are executed are responsible for that, right? So if that is what, then the way it is executed is not about workplace issues, not those factors. These are the way we behave and our mindset is, right? So what happens when people are not satisfied about workplace? What they do is they remain uninspired, and the average time for a person who is dissatisfied about workplace and feels stagnant, he needs 6 months to 3 to 5 years of time. If you look at the graph, most employee leave after 3 to 5 years. So what do? All those time? They actually remain unproductive. They perform at less than 20% productivity level. So hugely unproductive. So that is what. So they know they are not performing to the company's expectations. So they feel dejected, and the company also sidelines them from growth. So nobody is to be blamed right there, right? So but when I conducted one market research all by myself, is this are these the workplace issues only? That is what. So many people are dissatisfied about their workplace issues, but my market research told me that not all the issues at workplaces are related to direct factors of workplaces, but affecting work performance. What are those? So in this list, if you see, left side ones are the workplace issues which we have studied so far, and the right column says about issues which are not directly related to workplaces but affecting work performance. What are those? Next course of action, unsure of next course of action. This might be due to hesitation, decision making, uh, uh, incapability, lack of confidence issues, past failures, habits. Then lack of consistency. That may be anger issues, suspicion, perfectionist, and laziness. Relationship with spouse, acceptance issues. There may be other issues related to this, but acceptance issue mainly. The same person you married and you got attracted to, the qualities, you have forgotten all those. Then self-doubt, of course. We all face that. Self-doubt is with everybody. For that, we need well-wishers, mentors, and certain practices because of which we can recover from self-doubt. Motivation and inspiration hits you. What is motivation and inspiration? Lack of motivation and inspiration because people don't know what your real worth is. And when somebody motivates you, he actually knows the exact problem of yours and gives a solution. That is when you are inspired. Friction with friends. That is because of social status mainly. Because of there is not comparable social status, gender issues also might be happening, and financial issues, positions, maybe. Lack of self-acceptance. There may be some guilt, some failure in the past which you are not able to come to term with. So that is what. Asking for help. People think asking for help means it is weakness or ignorance. So that is why they don't ask, and so that is why they can't get things done. Finding more pain than pleasure. That is might be you have given control to others, no sharing, fear of change, fear of failure. All these are related things, but this is how my clients have communicated to me. So all these I have listed down. According to this, actually I'll give that these are all one point or other. Everybody faces this fear of failure, fear of getting judged, slave mindset. From day one, nobody is perfect, right? Restlessness when you are not able to do, concentration, planning deficit. So it comes, these are all factors which come to us irrespective of the workplace issues, right? And it affects workplace performance as well. So let us see what we can, how to deal with this then. So before going depth into my thing, so these are my realization, these are my insights, right? So my mission now has been to impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh super performing global players in 139 countries with $1 billion enterprise. That is my mission. So you might be one of these 1 lakh people that I am trying to reach out to. And my system is called Resourceful Influencers Club. And the 3 secrets of resourceful influencing is, are you excited to learn? Say yes, no, ready to learn anything? Thank you. Thank you for the response. Here are the 3 secrets. Secret 1. The resourceful person wins continuous recognition and growth. Secret 2. How to succeed and achieve your goals despite organization-related struggles. Secret 3. The big secret to stay relevant without feeling burnt out. So, the resourceful person wins continuous recognition and growth. How do you make that? How do you become resourceful? So, first is differentiate yourself. You have to know yourself, how you are different than the other people. You are definitely different. That is established. Now, right? So, but you now have to find out what is so very different about you. You have to resilient about anything you do. With your difference, quality or resourcefulness, whatever you have to be resilient about that. Just displaying one day will not do. The third thing is influence. With that resilience, once you are resilient, you are definitely going to influence people, because people will know you from hardworking, resilient, and never to give up, the kind of personality that you are. Then prominence. You just integrate and, like say, develop something which is unique about you. Obviously, when you identify what you are good at or what you love to do, after that you are resilient about whatever you are doing, and then you are influencing people, then you will be established in your area, right? So, but there you have to work more to stay different. So after achieving prominence, again you have to come to this different stage to maintain difference, then be resilient, and then influence, and the circle goes on and on. One circle achieved, your version 1 is established. Then again you make yourself at the difference level, and then to any extent that will decide which level you will stay for what time, right? So here are few of my uh, achievements. So when I came to this big organization, actually I was given a task to enumerate 44 lakh women in 2 months in Rajasthan. So there are 29 districts we have taken up. 12,000 people were recruited from so many other organizations also, whom I never knew. I had to train them. I had to place them in, say, 250 camps in a day. That planning was done. Logistic was done. The assignment of, there were various things, like, say, documentation, reporting, payment to the other voluntary staff, and out of those 12,000, some were the group leaders were for 2 months, some others were temporary. So these payments and the reconciliation also was to be done. So this was done in 2 months' time. So this means every day each of these people have to cover 75,000 women in 29 districts. So this was my first task. And so one of the colleague in that project told me, when each member is busy with reporting, reconciliation, documentation, payment, and other things, how do you manage to have everything done and complete in time and available always to help us also? So that was the compliment I received from him for becoming very timely, very punctual, very systematic, very organized, and also available and helpful also, right? And the senior team leader was, how do you manage team members whom you have never known before, even in remote places? So somebody told me, actually, you have Lakshmi Yog. आपको तो कहीं पे भी जाते हो खाने के लिए लोग बुला लेते हैं। आई टेल यू वन स्टोरी। एक एक कहीं पे मैं जा रही थी, कैंप विजिट करने जा रही थी, एंड 3 किलोमीटर्स आई हैड टू वॉक। वॉक करके उस गांव में पहुंचे, उस कैंप में पहुंचे, एंड somebody केम फॉरवर्ड, मुझे देखा, ले गया, बिठा दिए एक जगह पे, एंड पानी पिला दिए। उसके बाद 6 मोटे मोटे रोटी, राजस्थानी रोटी, एंड सब्जी वो ले आके फिर बड़ा वाला ग्लास में क्या बोलते हैं, बटर मिल्क ले आके पिला दिए। सभी कोई देख रहे थे, वो मुझे कभी नहीं जानते हैं, पहली बार मैं गई थी ना वहां पे, फिर भी सभी ने उसी टाइम में मुझे बोला आपको तो लक्ष्मी योग है, लोग बुला बुला के खाना खिलाते। एंड आफ्टर दैट राजस्थान में, मेघालय में पोस्टेड हुई। सो इट वाज ए सीएससी प्रोजेक्ट अंडर नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, और उसमें 239 CSC एस्टेब्लिश करने थे इन 7 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ मेघालय। मेघालय आपको पता है उबड़ खाबड़, टेरेन बहुत ही इरेगुलर है, एंड सो इट वाज डिफिकल्ट, बट ऑल 7 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में 239 कियोस्क, 1500 लोगों को ट्रेन किया, एंड वी पुट in that. So the national head once was complimenting me, and also I was in charge of indirect charge of Orissa CSC project, Punjab, Maharashtra, Tripura, Sikkim. So so I had to travel a lot. So उन्होंने कहीं पे मैं ट्रेन पे जा रही थी, एंड ही वांटेड सम काइंड ऑफ रिपोर्ट, सो ही आई सेड दैट मेरे पास कुछ पता नहीं, मोबाइल से भेजा हो। So he complimented me saying one can count on you even if you are traveling on train to send important documents. The NIC head, Mr. B.S. Rinja from Meghalaya, who was the in charge of that National Informatics Center, who was in charge of communication, establishing communication, like say data communication server से किसी भी, all the CSCs were connected to the central server at Shillong. CSC में जो होता है आपके, all the utility certificates get printed, और लोगों को ट्रैवल करना नहीं होता है from the remote places to Shillong all the way, और उनको कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि एक ही दिन में काम होगा, कई दिन लग जाते हैं, तो वो सब सेव होता है by establishing a CSC. So that data connectivity was very important, and broadband से नहीं हो रहा था. So then what I did was I suggested them to give data card and VSAT. So 125 data card मैंने दे दिया, and he was very very surprised. How did it occur to you to arrive at this solution? हमने खुद ने जब डेटा कार्ड यूज किया था वहां पे ब्रॉडबैंड नहीं चल रहा था, तो भाई what was so surprising about that solution? तो वो तो पता था. Then VSAT से एक्सट्रीमली वीक सिग्नल जहाँ पे था वहां पे व्हाट वाज द अल्टरनेटिव टू दैट, तो वो तो सर्च किया, इससे पूछा उससे पूछा, तो VSAT वाज द सॉल्यूशन. सो 5 VSATs आई मैनेज टू say sponsored from my company, and looking at that, Meghalaya government decided to donate 42 VSATs to 42 kiosks. So that was my contribution to that. And my colleagues, one of them is Kharmolong. She was from Chirapunji CSE. Meghalayan people, they are like say they know, they learn things very slowly, but once they learn, it is very perfect. So she told me I wouldn't have figured out this to be a business opportunity but for you. So because I taught her how to make a business plan, which activity to take up more so that she could earn more. That was my contribution to her, and 239 of them. Each of them I handheld to establish this kind of business plan so that they become viable, sustainable in that. Otherwise, why should anybody sit in that kiosk, right? So that was what. And then the third significant project that I did was at Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, which is in eastern Madhya Pradesh, where a women federation was registered, which was which has 36 lakhs of corpus. Why I had gone there? To give them an alternative source of livelihood, because that was being a tiger reserve. People were going to there was no fence around that tiger reserve. So people were going to the core area and were getting killed by the tigers. So because they didn't have any other source of, say, having livelihood, because they didn't have anything to eat. They didn't have any opportunity to earn also. So that is why the forest department of that area had asked us to give them alternative solution to that area, and it was such a remote place that people, not many educated people, wanted to go there. So here, within 4 years of time, I managed to float this federation with 500 women as members, who created 36 lakh of rupees as corpus of this federation, and that area became food sufficient within 4 years of time. We, of course, and ladies became leaders. This is the most amazing story that has happened to that area. There were So when MGA and REGA didn't work, so these people took up this hybrid mustard cultivation, which was our third experiment. We started with integrated farming, then multiple crops in one patch of land, so that if one crop fails, then the other crops are there to give them some production of that crop. Then the second thing was system of rice intensification, where the rice production goes up by 1.5 times. Then mustard production, wherein these people broke the Madhya Pradesh state record of mustard production. As you know, they managed to bring 17 awards in 4 years of time, broke the mustard record, and they were in district governing board of which is convened by the district collector. See, from Gungat to district governing board. So they became the decision makers of their area. And in one of those 17 awards, they had won one from the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi. They won 51,000 cash award, but more importantly, so out of all the farmers gathered there from all over India, these farmers were selected and were awarded. This is Devti Vai. She won the Ideal Woman Award. Her concept was Punji is the key, Kunji of progress. Even when a disaster hits, if there is Punji, then anyone can overcome a disaster. Anyone can overcome one emergency situation. And she was awarded by the then Chief Minister, the then Industry Minister, Mr. Anand Sharma. This is the another award was by Mr. Chandraprakash Sharma. He won MS Swaminathan Research Foundation Award, and this is Lalli Bai. She won because she helped mobilize the SHGs. This is one of my colleague, Mr. Jishu Chakrabarti. He says that Sangeeta has an uncanny talent to spot talent in others. This is Mukesh Kewat, who is the CEO now of the Harit Kisan FPO Federation that is there at Madhya Pradesh. I can dream big because of her training. He started as a grassroots worker with me, and he has become the CEO of the company. He has multiple income, by the way. Right now, he owns a car. Then I had headed the HR in that particular company. I was given this charge because as good with people, so everybody thought that I'd give a good guidance to everybody in the company. So here I actually designed 40 kind of incentive system. As a result of this, I was sent to Canada for a study tour, and I was picked up as one of the 33 women who were part of the magazine called Mint Munch. As the HR head, also I brought 2 recognition to my organization, which was the ICICI Foundation Award and another award also. I wrote the award draft, whichever was chosen. So this is Moni Mandal. She started as an executive HR, as my colleague assistant, and she now is the HR manager in that company. So she actually started learning. She got one from one HR certification and another a management certification from a premier institute after 6 years of stopping her studies. So she has grown to this level right now. So that was about resourcefulness. If you know, if you have the sentiment, if you have the aptitude, and if you have the mindset to help others to grow in yourself, then you can do. Now, secret 2: how to succeed and achieve your goals despite organization related struggles. Because you are good, because you will help others, it doesn't mean that no problem will come to you. You will face the same problems that others face, right? The first problem that came to my area, and while I was doing also, there are 2 sets of people to every situation. One set of people appreciate you, the other set of people will not appreciate you. They always will criticize you. So, but some external factors also were there. The company collapsed in 2010. Yeah, the big company, actually collapsed in 2010. And I was still holding a major portfolio, but I had to switch. Although the company wanted me to stay there, but a company which has collapsed, it will not give growth, right? So that is why I took a decision and switched over to another sister company of the same set. The second thing happened was sidelined for promotion twice in 2010 and 2015. So another reason for why I chose to switch to another company was because I was sidelined for promotion. That was twice. I was due for a promotion twice, and then the company collapsed. So that is why I took a decision that when the company was doing good, if they didn't promote me, now there was no resource to promote me also. No, a senior level means more expense to the company. So me only wouldn't have cost much, but still I decided. And in 2015 also, while everybody was uh, promoted to the next level of my same rank, as given, of course, it can be called as a promotion, but it was not. As given another charge in 2015. That was when I took over as the HR head, right? Then in Meghalaya, because it was in Meghalaya, the society is such that they don't accept the strangers, people from other states. But I was never, I never faced any kind of situation. In remote areas also, I stayed with people. There were not many hotels or or places where one can stay, lodge or hotels. But I stayed with people. So people told me, like say my boss told me, you are too disciplined to be human. That was his appraisal, because there was no point where he could criticize me, that anybody can say anything, right? So how do you feel when you contribute so much, still you you say something which seems to be a criticism, and coming from a boss, it will not give you any promotion, so any increment as well. So that was in 2009, and so I told him, nobody is resigning from my team. Why do you say so? that I am inhuman? Why I am pressing everybody to perform at a better level, right? So there was no question. How do you feel when such a situation happens to you, right? Do you search for any alternative? Do you search how to handle that situation, how to handle that kind of depression? Do you ever think, outline what kind of opportunity are still present with you? The same thing also happened to me. Actually, I went to several organizations to try for other opportunities, but I found that despite all this criticism, my organization was giving the most number of opportunities for me. So I stayed. I don't say that would be the same with you, each of you. You can take a different decision, but how to take a decision, whether to switch or to stay, right? It was, it was, of course, whenever there were situations like this, terrible time, always I found I was away from home, right? I'm from Orissa and I worked in 16 states. And I'm a very private person, so I don't obviously go to many people for personal reasons. I, of course, approach everybody for professional guidance, but not for personal guidance. So that was another limitation for me. Then in 2009 and 2016, obviously I was working with people, so I needed some kind of budget to work with people. Without that, I couldn't work. But this was restricted for me. If they were not restricting me to work, they were restricting on the budget. So I was obviously not able to perform at the most of my capacity. Do you feel that these have been the, maybe you have been restricted in several ways at your workplace? That is why you are feeling, your boss might have told you should not do these without asking me. So there are several instances of this. People, one way or other, when they want to restrict somebody, they find out ways to restrict the other person who is moving, who is always positive. Say they try to see how much positive you can stay. That is the interpretation I make. Then taken out of field operation twice. I love field operation. Still, I was taken out of that twice. And in 2009, when I was taken out of field operation, I was like, say, what will I do right now? Because I am so much into field, people, solving their problems, all this I loved. So whatever you love, if you are not allowed to do that, how do you feel? What else do you do? Do you, I thought, should I, if, and because I didn't have this educational qualification, like say MBA or PhD, so that will rest, unless I do some impact creating thing in the field, that is the only one avenue that I can display my resourcefulness. If I am stopped from doing that, then there is no avenue for me to grow. That was the situation for me. So in 2009, I outlined the ecotourism thing. One business I developed for the company. Sitting at the office, what do? You develop something conceptually, so that is being implemented right now. That I did in 2009. The first outline was mine. I tried to know whether ecotourism will be acceptable to these people or not. Then in 2015, I developed this incentive system, 40 kinds of incentive system to award the reward rather to the grassroots workers who are responsible for growth, responsible for the grassroots work that the company is based on, right? And in 2016, in 2015, when I did this grassroots workers reward system. Then I was shifted from HR to again to field. And this time I was given a dead watershed project, which was not working at all. Since last 2 years, it was not working. And a local person also was in charge. He was not able to handle, not able to make way. And I was given charge of that watershed, which I revived. So, how do you think when you are given such kind of situations? I didn't start by expecting or challenging people. I took it as a challenge. I did the most, whatever I could do. And in the process, something got resolved. Great, like say, with your genuineness and honesty, actually you can bring about uh, lot of results. And might that have been the case here? Resilience, of course, always is there. I don't give up easily. So one of my colleague who went on to become this Panchayat Secretary of Khuti, she told me she finds a way out for herself and others. Mind you, Khuti is a Naxal area. So here I found out a way for myself and the Naxals also. In less than a year, she has revived the women group tremendously. There were watersheds around Khuti. You know, Khuti is known today also for watersheds. And my SHG groups were known for their vigorousness. So this was a comment by the local soil conservation watershed officer. Then, if you have noticed the various types of thing that I have done, you might be wondering that you also have to be doing so many things. You might be doing so many things also. Resourcefulness is about doing so many things. And I guarantee that all of you, each of you has multiple qualities to do so. Bring in those qualities into your workplace to enrich the workplace. Now, the question comes, so how much we have to do? Kitna kare to stay relevant? Because the education level is not here. It is not about education, not about the skills that you have. This is about resourcefulness, which is a third quality, and resourcefulness and resourcefulness, and the third thing, resources and resourcefulness are two things which is very, very important. Now 19 big companies, global companies, they are opting for this resourcefulness rather than qualification. So sooner or later, this is going to be the most prominent thing about a person, a human being, to be recruited to big organizations, to significant positions. So this is the right time for you to get trained on that, how to become resourceful with your existing qualities which you haven't found out so far, or you don't know how to uh, take advantage of those qualities. So now you'll ask me this next question, how many things we need to do to stay relevant. After some time, actually, you are too spread out. What I have done, watershed activity, HR, then CSE project, then financial literacy, so many things. So this is the third secret. What you do. So for everybody, this is the time when actually you concentrate on focusing, integrating all your experiences into one single thing. You have to give direction to all your experiences, and that requires less of execution and more of planning. So that is what third level is. That is how you will save yourself from being burnt out, right? So this is also you need to learn about resourcefulness and staying resilient also without being burnt out, without feeling burnt out. So strategic partnership for community development impact. This is when I did 11 farmer producer organization in Sikkim. What I did, facilitation, innovation and synergy. So this is the strategic part for everybody. Whoever has 5 to 12 years of experience now, what you can do is find out where you can facilitate other people to contribute, bring out, leverage their qualities and make a different product, make a pizza, make a cake, right? This is the time. So what you can do is facilitate, innovate. When you mix, something else will emerge from that, and synergy. If it is not mixable, it can be utilized side by side. That is what called synergy. So you supplement and complement and take advantage, leverage, right? So that is what you do at this stage. This is integration, right? Integrate, of course. All my previous experiences came into this farmer producer company, and all my planning level experiences and liaising level experiences, facilitation level experience, all of them came together right now. So here I'm doing this thing. So this is right now I'm involved in one thing, single thing, which is called solar efficient, disaster resilience, sustainable, affordable housing to economically weaker section of the society. So how many aspects are there? So I have put all of them into one slogan, and right now I am working on all this, but it looks like one thing. Why? How I am managing that? Because I have brought many companies. Here is the Nobel laureate Mr. Professor Mohammad Yunus from Bangladesh. He is saying something about building wealth with small enterprise, because he has started, he is the father of microfinance, global, worldwide. So he has given this concept. How can people save? How can people manage with small money without having any enterprise? So that is the thing that he is doing. He has in mind that concept. And because I work in an association which is of 238 member organizations are the members of this organization, so I have the uh, reach and link to such a huge personality with whom I am working for this. 5 disaster related helplessness. So this is what I am working with him. So can you work like this? If you see, there will be opportunities to everybody. I'm dead sure about that. Everybody has got opportunity, but these are my opportunities which I have identified. So we can identify your opportunities as well. This is part one of my opportunities, nothing of new work that I am doing. This is part of my all the experiences that I have had so far. I am synthesizing them into one thing. So one part of that is how people will earn their livelihood. How people will, like say, economically weaker section is the poorer section, right? Who is guiding them? Educated people like us. How can they guide them without getting trained about mindset? Today only I received some offer from somebody to train this weaker section of people. For that, they have some staffs. Unless they are trained into leadership activity, into resourcefulness, they are not going to solve any of their problem. If they are not solving any problem of anybody, then they are not going to be relevant for those people. Who will listen to them? And this is I am advocating housing. uh, Yesterday only, since Fani happened. Fani was a cyclone happened in Orissa in 2019. Since that time, the houses there, most of the houses were not built. I have been saying that to many forums, in many forums, that people without houses, they cannot become, their earning cannot become, they cannot earn anything. Housing is an income enabler. So last year in 2020, I participated in a webinar where I told that houses were not built and there has to be some effort about disaster resilienceness of the coastal Orissa, because repeated disasters are happening. Unless there is pakka houses, people will be poor. People will stay poor. So start small. Always I have started small. I didn't know this will be such a big program. So next stage is whatever training experiences plus 12 plus work years. I now am thinking of going global, because these problems, this leadership growth, I come across this is in various people, no, in social media. They are all suffering from this kind or that kind of problem. They all have this leadership deficiency in them. Without leading self, how can you lead anybody else? So if you have been facing with any of this, that is curable, right? And that has solution. My problem is 90% of people don't think that this is solvable, this is curable. So this is why I have chosen this online um, route to reach out to these potential people. And the first person who told me that I can be a coach, I didn't know that by mentoring others, I can achieve the most about what I am trying to do. So, Mr. This is Mr. Vivek Mehrotra, who is my first mentor, who is a law of attraction expert, but he is my mentor as well, who told me that you can be a coach. And his mentor, who is my super mentor, Mr. I am into his system right now, and I have just finished his first level of qualifying mark. So I'm a freedom finisher out here. This is the certificate I have received, and these are my other trainers from whom I am learning. Prachi Maikar, who is a transformational leader, from Mr. Blair Singer, who is the coach of Robert Kiyosaki, Dean Graziosi, and this is the whole list of my mentors who from whom I'm learning right now. Right? You need to keep learning. You have to be a lifelong learner, as my super mentor says, Mr. Siddharth Rasekar. So you have to be learning from everybody. So this is the next stage. And I have started my online journey also, in which one of the client, this is the testimonial she has given me. Um, extremely talented and mature in her work. She coaches well. She pushes you to deliver and reach your best. Great coach. Thank you. Looking forward to working with her again. She has started working again, of course. This is Rana Sabir, an intern. She came to us without knowing how to write a report or make a marketing plan. So she has given me a glorious testimonial like this. Praveen Samant, who has been a DGM credit, who didn't have a job since last 2.5 years, he has started getting calls. Of course, today also I got his call saying that he has progressed well, and he has joined one organization where he is a part-time consultant, because and also in addition to that, he is consulting many other organizations like me. So he has become a multi-party consultant right now, which is and he has grown to the VP level. He is getting interviews. Remember, 2.5 months back, he was not getting any interview calls. Right now, he has joined a VP level consultancy, and he is doing multiple level consultancy also. So, do you now realize that there is huge scope and a huge what you can say opportunity and requirement to learn? If you say yes, then please write yes in the chat box so that we know that you are ready to learn. And for this, would you like to spend say 10,000 rupees or so to become a lifelong learner, a part of my community, learning community? Every day there will be new material to this thing, new solutions to your problem. Many people are coming. Whoever is coming with to this club, they are bringing a new problem. Of course, essentially those are the same problems, but they need to discover their own solutions, right? So here is my flagship course, which is called Leadership Growth Blueprint. Along with that, there are 5 bonuses called Entrepreneurship, Delegate Appropriate, Process versus Results, Internal Patterns, Mindfulness. And leadership growth blueprint is about irreplaceability, sought after, stand out as a person of solutions, the ultimate leader. And here are the day one. It is a 4-day course because Secret One has four essence to it. Design your own blueprint. Reborn with resourcefulness, core values, set priorities, standing out in a crowd, goal setting, backstories of resourceful influencing, unusual leadership style. This is a dream tracker that I have built for yourself, and we will design one for you too. This is an outline of how you are going to achieve your goal and when. This will may not happen exactly as you have planned, but this is how things will be executed ultimately. You will discover that. And supplementary courses are action over excuses, over which, like I said, these 4 things, this will continuously get upgradation. As people come, they will bring with solutions. So that is what I call as level 2, because this is not necessary for level 1 people. But if you want to learn, then you can learn. It is available for you also. Transformational laser, you are enough. Know your worth. Keep educating yourself. Take baby steps. Day 2 is building resilience. Give up little later. Belief is a precursor to behaviors, aptitude and perception. Resourceful as you and around. Trust building and team activity. Again, this is the next supplementary courses. Struggle is part of the story. Visualize your success. Take the challenge. Utilize, underline, understand, rewrite to inspire. Perception, positivity pronouns, clue in contradiction, paint the pathway. Day 3 is about implant influence, resourcefulness towards a desired goal, self-track, the learning pattern, innovate and reserve, team game, emotional resilience, steady growth. Then the supplementary courses are automated growth house, boss in next level, raise the bar, average can be 2% plus minus proximity, everyday distinction. Day 4 is on the move. You have to be on the move to stay prominent. Shifting paradigm, mindset for greener opportunities, find your vision and decide your version, taking action right away. Money magnet talks, take a stand and stand by it. Constructive exchange to improve adversity quotient. Small action step to the journey of 1,000 miles. Trust in relationships. Hands-on before automation. And the supplementary course is deep learning, sensibility, wellness of graph. The 5 bonuses are internal patterns, rejuvenate self. And this is about thoughts, beliefs and behaviors, mindset at workplace, fine-tuning the goals. And supplementary activities are pull your own strings, attitude shift, body capacity, expectation aligned, choose your own phoenix. The second bonus is mindfulness, plan smart, Pause as a reaction, silence as a reaction, being in gratitude, plan ABC, ambiguity, and the supplementary thing is permit yourself to dream, higher self-esteem, loser to winner and achiever, comfort zone syndrome, natural abilities, core competencies, touch base with your strength at the moment of despair, flat out fantastic, next right step, give when you want to receive, examine past conditioning and blockages, victory. Then the third bonus is process versus results, continuous upgrade, tracking along race system, inherent attitude, elevate standards, mindset reset, facing criticism, core intentions. The supplementary study is make it possible in time, maintain high standards being interested, manage time by delegating, which my colleagues volunteered to undertake, mindful milestones. Then the fourth is delegate appropriate. This is about mentoring your workplace, talent nurturing, mapping HR, role assignment, progress tracking, acknowledge contribution. True in self, assess yourself, strategize mentoring, kill lethargy. These are in triplets for you to write your stories and assess yourself continuously. The fifth bonus is joypreneurship. We are afraid of being happy, so create diversion. Investing in a new skill, monetizing the skill, social cause, inhabit the world. The supplementary thing is joy, juggle out of the box yardstick. So the entire course is meant to give you influence with resourcefulness, growing inner strength, building credibility, being resilient, implant influence, anticipating and preparing for change. And the whole bundle is of 59,994 and the webinar price is, oh, let us come a little later to the webinar price. Before that, let us come to the results. So this will be a 14 weeks course, 14 weeks training period. What you undergo is 4 days video course. After that, it will be a 14 weeks training period wherein you will learn finding your USP, making the mindset document, winning trust of seniors, winning trust of peers, goal setting, dream tracker, turning a negative story to a positive one instantly, reinforcement of positive thoughts, reinforcement of positive thoughts. This is shifting paradigm about attitude and perception and habit and action, creating a success blueprint, confidence installation, mindfulness, transition map, right? And if you want to communicate with me, then you can communicate with in the email ID mail@leadingwithsangeeta.com, and the webinar price is just 5999. So avail it right now. This is just webinar price, and let us stop sharing. And if you have any questions, then we can discuss it right now. Let us stop the recording.